Alright, so chat, we're gonna start things off with that thing about the Tesla, about police seizing Teslas. So we are gonna start off with that. So let me bring that up. Hello, Moros. I hope you're safe. Alright, so let us see what this is all about with police seizing Teslas that witness crimes. Because the headline alone does sound like a legal seizure. But I do know that people like to do clickbaity headlines. So you guys have apparently seen the articles about this. I am curious. I want to be informed. So let's find out.
Welcome once again to Leto's Law. Here's Steve Leto.
Got one of those stories sent in to me by everybody. Thank you very much. This version's from roadandtrack.com, an institution I used to write for. Great people. Lucas Bell wrote this. Teslas are being towed by police to collect onboard video footage. And by towed, we mean basically seized and impounded. So your car witnessed a crime. The police consider your car to be a very, very important witness. So they're going to impound it and do what they can to get that footage off those cameras on board. Tesla's cars and SUVs are outfitted with an extensive array of exterior and interior cameras, which the cars use for features ranging from driving aids to security monitoring. It's the latter features caught the attention of law enforcement in California. In Oakland, they've begun getting warrants for the footage.
Wait, well, California and where else?
Attention of law enforcement in California. In Oakland, they've begun getting warrants for the
footage
footage captured by the vehicles, and even leading to some owners' Teslas to be towed amid the department's efforts to secure high-quality video evidence. So they get a warrant, but then they grab the whole car. According to a report from the San Francisco Chronicle, Oakland area police officers have been leaning on Tesla vehicles as a source of potential evidence, thanks in parts to the car's Sentry Mode function. This feature, which the automaker hopes will serve as the anti-theft technology, activates Tesla's exterior cameras when movement is detected. And while the system isn't guaranteed to be active on every Tesla model at any given time, the cops aren't shy about seeking the footage. A sergeant, who's the president of the Richmond Police Officers Association, told the Chronicle that these activities aren't uncommon among police today. He said officers often seek out video from Tesla vehicles for potential evidence, and while he says they often make direct contact with owners to get the evidence, a warrant and a tow sometimes prove necessary.
So they're trying to avoid impropriety by getting a warrant. So if they're not able to make contact with the owner of the vehicle, they get a warrant and have the vehicle towed. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry about that. The cat was going for a plastic bag. I do not wish her to suffocate. And thank you, Taurus. So, yeah, this is like, police getting a warrant for evidence is not uncommon, but this is like, usually it's a warrant to do, for not for taking someone's car because it's got a camera. Yeah. I have a feeling that this may, reach the courts for like vehicle owners. That this may reach a court that this is like unconstitutional, even with a warrant. We have a Kaiba with security cameras. You're not taking away someone's personal method of transportation. The cameras are incidental. They're impounding vehicles, which is while the police go in and seize a vehicle to get the camera footage, they have now taken away that person's car. So, well, Drysdale, at this point, it's not considered illegal search and seizure because they say they do it with a warrant. Yeah, Kai, what would you say about returning the car? If they do not return them in good shape, they are opening themselves up to major... Oh, absolutely, Kaiba. 100%. And just hooking the fucking thing up for the tow itself can cause damage. And do you know how many vehicles get damaged just by the tow truck driver hooking them up? Last chance, if they have a warrant, they can. That's the thing. They're doing this with a warrant signed off by a judge. That is the big factor. They're just not arbitrarily grabbing people's vehicles by their own, by their own authority. They're doing this with a warrant. Now, does it still make it right? No. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But they are doing it via a warrant. But I am waiting for these individuals who have had their vehicles seized like this to basically file a class action lawsuit to say this is unconstitutional, this is illegal. Even with a warrant, this should not be allowed. So I do feel like this is going to be challenged pretty soon in court.
Contact not be established in a timely manner. So this guy says that the towing of the vehicle is the most drastic thing you can do. So when you have these cars on the roads that are constantly capturing information, even when they're parked, the police can look to them as a resource, says a staff attorney at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. That obviously puts third parties in the crosshairs investigation. Of course, third parties are those who are not involved at all. No one's accusing
Correct.
the Tesla owner of any crimes here. They're saying, well, your car was parked here and something happened here. And if your car filmed what happened here, well, then we need to get our hands on that footage and we may have to tow your car to get it. And that to me seems a bit heavy-handed.
Very
According
heavy-handed.
to the report, the Oakland Police Department has sought to secure a Tesla vehicle into evidence to obtain its stored video footage at least 3 times since July. All 3 incidents involve.
Well, yeah, to put a finer point on it, judicial immunity would block them probably from tort law, but I don't think you would block them from a constitutional challenge. It depends on, like, if they tried to sue for damages, that might block it. But if they try to do a suit over constitutionality, that makes a big difference. I mean, it all depends upon the lawsuit in specific that we're talking about.
Involved a second court order in which the officers made reference to the vehicle's Sentry mode capabilities.
Baff, what you're saying is give the owner X days to provide the footage. That's kind of what he was saying. Is he saying like they try to receive they try to get the footage in a timely manner. They try and contact the owner to get the footage in a timely manner, which is what you're saying. Give the owner X amount of days to provide it, and if they are unable to make contact with the owner in whatever is considered a timely manner. Now, what is a timely manner? Who cannot say? But that's when they go to the extreme of towing and seizing the vehicle to extract the footage.
The footage secured from Tesla vehicles has reportedly helped the department in a number of recent investigations. That said, the use of the footage raises questions about the growing presence of surveillance. And that's an interesting point
Exactly,
because people
Bishrock.
complain when the government places cameras everywhere to watch you when you're in public. They go, oh, it's Big Brother, right? And, well, these vehicles have got cameras on them, too. But somehow it seems a little less intrusive when it's people doing it because no one ever thought, well, that Tesla parked there is going to narc me out if I do something wrong in front of it. Well, now it will. Oakland police officials did not respond to Chronicle's request for comment on the spike in Tesla-related warrants. And I do not know what other car companies out there might be putting cameras on their cars that do this, or if any other company.
I would say I could probably answer this. I suspect that any vehicle, not just Teslas, there are vehicles that when you put it into reverse, it has the traditional backup cameras on cars. Of course, you put your car into reverse, and your dash screen, your entertainment center screen, then displays the backup camera. There are some cars, usually on the higher end, that have 360-degree cameras when you're doing the backup. So when you put in a backup, you actually get a top-down overview of your car. And everything around it. So those kind of vehicles would have 360-degree cameras, including forward-facing. Yeah, some of the newer cars, and more specifically, the higher-end vehicles. Usually it's the higher-end vehicles that have cameras on them, on the front end. But to my knowledge, they're not working 24 hours a day. To my knowledge, they are not functioning 20. No, they. That's the thing. I don't believe all of the. I don't even know if Teslas actually record or not. Apparently, I guess they do. Um, I think for all other vehicles, it's I don't think that the footage being stored on a drive. I think it's literally just a live feed only. I don't think the footage is being stored. Tesla, I think, is the only one that, exactly, Kaibo, if the vehicle is put into Sentinel mode, that it will record footage when the vehicle is not in use. And that's why I guess all the Tesla's been targeting, because non-Tesla vehicles don't have that mode. It's, I think, a Tesla-only thing at this point. Now, could we see this on, or Sentinel mode, sorry. Could we see this on other vehicles that have these 360-degree cameras? Certainly. Oh, 5 and 4, I'm pretty sure this has already been done. That cops get a warrant for the ring camera footage. I'm pretty sure that's already been done. Or if you've got like a, or if you have like a dash cam. Or if you have, home security cameras. I have no doubt that police might come forward with warrants for the footage. Absolutely.
Companies have plans to do this, but bottom line, if your Tesla disappears from your parking.
Cheer 100, there is going to be a Fifth Amendment challenge on this at some point too. They used my aunt's dash cam footage for a wreck she witnessed and wrote her a ticket for running a stop sign earlier in the day.
Really? Yeah, I'd say that's, yeah, I'd say there's gonna be some challenges to that. Because that actually sadistic, I'm surprised, like, I could see a lawyer, with what happened to your aunt, I could see a lawyer arguing that the video footage of her running a stop sign earlier in the day is inadmissible, because if there was a warrant used to get your aunt's dash cam footage, or even if there wasn't a warrant used, the officers looked at footage outside the scope of the immediate issue. If they went to earlier footage earlier in the day, which is outside the scope of the situation at hand, they would have, if it was a warrant issue, they would have violated the warrant, and so that's a lawsuit. If they go outside of a warrant and you get charged for a crime outside of the warrant, that's basically, you're basically getting charged under it's fruit of the poisonous tree, essentially. You'll win your case with any decent lawyer, and theoretically you can get some money out of the police department that way. Even if it's volunteered, if the footage is volunteered and they look at the footage outside the scope of the situation that they're talking about, I'd say any decent lawyer could say, could pose the argument, Your Honor, this footage has nothing to do with the task at hand. The police officers were looking outside the scope of the crime that they were investigating. This footage should be considered inadmissible and fruit of the poisonous tree, because it has nothing to do with the case that they were looking at. Then again, you would need to have a decent lawyer to argue that, and the average person cannot afford a lawyer to fight a fucking stop sign ticket. So that's where they get you, is if you can't afford a lawyer in traffic court, you're fucked.
Spot, check with the PD and make sure that they might not have towed it because of the fact that it may have witnessed a crime and it has become a material witness in the witness protection program in the impound yard. And I was thinking about this story last night, and one of the things that occurred to me, and there's an old joke or an old saying that says when you have a hammer in your hands, the entire world looks like a nail. And my question was, when the police think about solving a problem and they think, what do we have at our beck and call? What kind of resources do we have? Well, one thing they have access to is tow trucks, because they tow vehicles all the time. Now, they might not own the tow trucks, but they hire companies that have tow trucks, and they impound vehicles, and they tow away vehicles and so on and so forth. And so
Eh.
there's a car with evidence in it. Tow it. But interestingly, they have been getting warrants to do this. So it's not quite that bad in terms of them just snagging the car because it's the fastest, easiest, laziest way to handle it. They are actually going through the steps to get the warrant. But the interesting thing is
and he hasn't mentioned it. Part of the article did say that they do try to make contact, and again, I'm going back over this here. The police department said that they will attempt to make contact with the owner of the vehicle first to obtain the footage, and after exhausting options to get into contact with the vehicle owner, that's when they will actually seize the car. So they are going through steps. They're not jumping right to get warrant, tow car. It's get warrant, try to contact owner, cannot contact owner, get car. So it's not quite as bad as, like I said, the title is a little bit disingenuous. Now, are there some cops that are just don't say it and just bypass the whole get in touch with the owner and just tow the car? Yeah, I'm guessing there probably are, honestly. There are probably cops that just bypass the whole contacting the owner thing. But I'd say by and large, they probably do try and get in touch with the owner because it honestly would be a pain in the ass to try and have to tow it just to get it. No, incognito, dude, no, it's, what I was saying is, even with the warrant, they said that they will try and contact the owner first before actually towing the vehicle away. Because I'm sure it's probably far easier for them to just do it right there on site at the owner's home to just download the footage versus having to tow the car to the impound lot, then going to the impound lot, and then getting the footage at the impound lot. That's probably what's going on.
seizing the car, the least obtrusive way to get this information.
Cheer 100. Is it Grand Theft Auto if they seize the car instead of pulling the data from Tesla?
No, it's not theft. It's not Grand Theft Auto. It's being done with a warrant, so there's no theft involved. Because I don't think this data is being uploaded to Tesla. I don't know. The impression I was getting is that the video footage in Sentry mode is not being uploaded to Tesla. It's being stored on local hard drives in the car. That's the impression that I got. Because if it was being uploaded to Tesla, then all they have to do is just, if this footage was getting uploaded to Tesla, then they could just issue a warrant to Tesla for the video footage. There would be no need to even fuck with the car. It's just go directly through Tesla. So, it wouldn't be considered Grand Theft Auto, but if you just yoinked the car without a warrant, you're not going to get qualified immunity. I think it's the warrant itself that offers the qualified immunity. If a cop just okay, that car may have video footage, and without a warrant, calls and hooks it up and tows it, that would not give them qualified immunity. It would not. If the warrant is what we can provide them with. In Indiana, they ruled that attacking a police officer is unlawfully trying to arrest you is self-defense. Jesse Christopher, I'm pretty sure that's true for most states. The problem is trying to defend that position in court. That's the problem you're going to run into, is defending that position of that you were being unlawfully arrested. That's the tricky part.
I wonder what will happen with Lucid Motors cause of their cameras.
I have no idea what Lucid Motors is. I have no idea who they are.
Seizing the car, the least obtrusive way to get this information and make sure it's been preserved. And I do not know the answer to this. I know people with electric cars, but I do not know anybody personally who owns a Tesla. So that's what I'm curious about. The curious thing for me is the information recorded by those cameras kept on board the Tesla and the Tesla only? Or is it uploaded, for instance, to the cloud? the cloud.
Yeah, that's my exact
And
question.
if it's uploaded to the cloud, that means that there's a way for them to subpoena the information without seizing the car. Now, the
Exactly.
question, of course, then is, could somebody who has access to the, information, to the account associated with that Tesla, do they have the ability to go in and delete files from the cloud permanently? And I don't know the answer to that either. And I was going to do some research on this, and I started thinking, this is the kind of question, if I ask it, or Google it, I'm going to find all kinds of answers all over the spectrum, including people saying,
Yep.
yes, absolutely, you can do everything you're asking, to no, absolutely not, that can never be done, it's impossible. And at that point, all bets are off. So I'm assuming there will be people with Teslas or knowledgeable of them in the audience. And the question again is, if my car is parked someplace and something happens in front of it and it gets captured, the video does, by my Tesla, okay, is it really necessary for them to seize and preserve the car to get that information?
I'm going to make a speculation here because I don't know this answer, but I'm going to make a speculation. I think that video footage captured by Tesla while the vehicle is in operation may be uploaded to the cloud, like what someone was saying here, to be utilized by Tesla for the self-driving training. So while the vehicle is in use, I could see that footage being uploaded. But while it's in sentry mode, because the vehicle is not in use and stationary, I have a suspicion that that would not be uploaded to the cloud, if such a thing does happen with the Tesla cameras. Because that would be of no benefit to Tesla in terms of training their driving models. Now, do they still do it anyway? Who the hell knows? I don't know, because I don't know anything about how, what's uploaded to Tesla and what's not.
Or, for instance, could they drop a subpoena on Tesla? I don't know if the company's in charge of that or not, but I'm sure you know that there have been many occasions when the police have dropped subpoenas on Google and said, we want information regarding this one person who's got an account with Google.
Is cloud synced?
And then they seek the information.
It is cloud synced. Okay. Then why are they towing the car? My guess is he's probably going to make this point where they talked about subpoenaing Google. My guess is if they subpoenaed Tesla for the footage, they'd probably spend months in court fighting with Tesla to get this footage. And they're just saying, fuck it. We don't want to deal with that, so we're going to go directly to the source and just get a judge to sign off on a warrant. That's probably the reason why they're going for the car directly instead of going through Tesla.
There have been many occasions when the police have dropped subpoenas on Google and said, we want information regarding this one person who's got an account with Google, and then they seek the information that way. And so I'm wondering, could they drop the subpoena on Tesla and say,
oh yeah,
here's a car, license plate, obviously they can pull the VIN, they can get the owner's name and what state it's registered in, they can say all this information. Can you preserve and then get that information to us? And I'm wondering if that can be done or not. Now, again, there might be already people hammering away saying,
probably
Steve,
could,
you're
but they'll
describing is
fight
impossible,
every
because
step
that's
of
not
the
how it
way.
works. I'm simply asking the question because it seems to me that if the information is literally stored.
Because Elon is not a huge fan of government overreach as is. He's pretty well established how much he does not like government overreach. And he would 100% consider this overreach. So you can bet your ass that if there was a subpoena issued to Tesla for video footage from an individual's car, they will fight it in court like hell, and they'll fight it for months. And police and state's attorneys or district attorneys probably know this, and that's probably where they've gone to. Okay, we'll just do a warrant and get it locally. Oh yeah, they will absolutely fight it because Elon does not trust anything government related or police related. So he will 100% fight this and say, under the auspice of it's a breach of privacy. So he would fight it, and law enforcement and the judicial knows that.
Only on the car, and the owner can delete it by pressing a button, for instance, on an app. Well, then I can see the police getting all heavy-handed on this thing. We've got to grab the car and seize it and get the information off it.
Andrea, I'm going to offer a counterpoint to that. Teslas only upload Sentry Mode footage to cloud storage if you have subscription service. All that means, to me, what that says is that you can only view the synced storage if you have a subscription. If you don't have a subscription, that doesn't mean it's still not getting synced up and uploaded to Tesla servers. It just means you can't access it, and you would have to go locally. I still think even if you don't subscribe to that service, I think it's still sending the information up to the servers. I do, because all that means is that particular feature, the owner of the vehicle is paywalled off on.
Thinking about it, Sentry Mode would have to be cloud synced to work anyway, because if it was only on the car it wouldn't help you find who stole the car. Cheer 100.
What is that what Sentry Mode does? It helps you find stolen car? I don't know. Yeah, but it's like that's the thing with these subscription services for like this with Tesla. Just because you don't buy into the subscription does not mean it's not happening anyway. It's just happening, but you are paywalled off from having access to it. It's kind of like, okay, let's put this into gaming terms. It's kind of like having a game, but if you want to access this one certain area of the game, you are paywall. You have to buy it. The code is in the game. That area is in the game, but you cannot access it unless you pay for it. So it's still there. It's basically the same concept with these syncing up to the cloud things. It's still syncing it up to the cloud, but you have no access to it unless you pay the subscription fee. That's it.
The next question is, how long do they keep the car for? Because obviously they don't get to keep it until the trial happens. They're not going to have the car come in and testify, are they? Maybe they will. Who knows? So there you go, roadandtrack.com.
I plug.
And again, like I said, my first thought when I saw the story was the police are looking around going, well, how do we do this? Oh, we've got tow trucks. Let's just go over there and snag the vehicle. But this is scary. But they do say, and they imply here, that the police attempted to work with these owners that simply couldn't contact them. That's when they grabbed the car. Again, if they grabbed my car and said, well, we tried to contact you, I'd still be very, very upset. I would be.
Oh yeah,
but if
it's
they
still
got a
going to cause
court order
issues.
saying they're allowed to do it, and the court order is based on an affidavit saying, here's how we tried to contact this person, we couldn't contact them, and if those facts are true, then it's a little more in the realm of things that make sense versus things that do not. So Teslas are being towed by the police, that is impounded, to collect their onboard video footage. Lucas Bell wrote that. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.
And the other
Lato's
question.
Law. Your order
And the other
up. One slaw
Oh my
burger
God.
in paradise.
And the other question is, after they've extracted the video footage, how the fuck do you get your car back? They have your car. How the hell are you supposed to get it back? You have to then pay for a cab to take you over to the police station, which is who knows how far away, to get your car
I'm
back?
just imagining, you're in a store with your family and you walk outside to see your car is gone.
Well, again, the article is saying that they supposedly try to make contact first with the owner, and once they've exhausted attempts to, make contact with the owners, that's when they move to tow. So it's happening to people at restaurants? Really sadistic. Where have you heard about this? Where it got towed while someone was at a restaurant? Where did you hear about this? Hang on. Hang on. Let's see, what's this? Ta-ta. Oh, okay. Here's something. This is okay. I just found this. This was done by the U.S. Sun back in September. And this was a Canadian Tesla owner. Let's see. Police officers in San Francisco Bay Area learned that Tesla secure 7th century, which used record footage, damaged like a dash cam, sometimes capture footage crimes. Let's see. Where is it? Not all is agreeable though. Let's see. Most times, he said owners are more than happy to surrender the footage. Not all are agreeable though. He said if they had to resort to court order, it's the most drastic thing he could do. Officer Kevin Gajol, for instance, responded to a homicide in an Oakland parking lot. Close to the crime scene was parked a parked and locked Tesla, prompting him to seek the owner to secure the footage. I respectfully request that a warrant is authorized to seize the vehicle from the parking lot so this vehicle's surveillance footage may be searched via an additional search warrant at a secure location, read his submission. The owner was a tourist from Canada who was shocked when he saw his car was being towed. He told the police he would surrender the video footage, if any, and his Tesla was released. Sir Hussein, an attorney with the Electronic Frontier Foundation specializing in government surveillance, said the police perspective of viewing Teslas as assets may unnecessarily involve civilians. When you have these cars on the roads that are constantly capturing information, even when they're parked, the police can look at them as a resource. This obviously puts third parties, people who are not involved at all, in the crosshairs of investigation. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that's one instance where they were gonna tow his vehicle, and the guy was there, and they were just gonna yoink it. So that would set an extremely dangerous precedent. That needs to get fought in the justice system. Tesla Sentry mode can transmit footage over a live stream, which is not records the app. Can be okay. Yeah, if this and this was a Canadian tourist, which means he probably knows no one in the States. Fair chance he may not have known anybody in the States, and he would just come out and seen his car was gone. Yeah, this needs to be fought in court. This needs to be fought in court as a rights violation. It absolutely does. And because of course California is doing this, because California loves basically, doing whatever the fuck they want to its citizenry. Yeah, at this point, Atanashi, yeah. At this point, unfortunately, I can't because I have family out there, and if I want to visit them, I unfortunately have to go to California. But honestly, yeah, at this point, like, this is why people are fleeing California.
It's communism, the state.
Yeah, it's kind of getting there, isn't it, Eki? It's kind of getting there.